He's one of the largest separating issues in us community, one day once again driven to the forward since of a fatal massive survey. So which is the base for the law to carry weapon? And which key events include helping form the discussion? December 15, 1791. It makes feeling to begin in the day the other correction to the U.S. Basic Law was ratified. There, 27 easy speech set the way to gun property in the U.S. A so controlled police, creature required for the safety of a complementary country, the law of the human beings to hold and carry weapon, shall not be infringed. The reality how the verdict does not do grammatical feeling has just added gas to the discussion on which its real importance is. Is the key portion a so controlled police, importance how just human beings who own to a police should be gunman? And if so, which constitutes a police in the contemporary date? In 1791 it provided a team how gunman himself versus the UK troop. Is the key portion instead of same human beings? And if so, who are same human beings? He's precise that portion of the correction gun film goer see as largest pertinent, a mark in the hall of the Domestic Gun Associate, National Rifle Association, Museums in Virginia intermittent, off the at first 13 speech and says just, 21 to 22 May 1977. The NRA present is a strong pro-FI gun advocacy team how ferociously resists gun monitoring efforts and says it has 5 millionth members. It wasn't ever the instance. The organization was company founded by a ex-New York Times interviewer, William C. Chappell, in 1871 to contribute and promote gun survey on a research base. It was set up by ex-association soldiers who fought in the civilian war who had been stunned at the impoverished standard of marksmanship of their comrade association fighters compared in their accomplice rivals. Her at first CEO was General Ambrose Burnside, whose face wool encouraged the period sideburns. Lot of its operation up the deceased 1970s implicated hunt and organize survey competitions. But a change began to occur in the 1960s and 70s due in portion to growing criminality rates and a increasing prudent motion. At the period the NRA was acute to go off of advocacy. An growing ratio of members were purchase guns for personality protection. Adam Winkler writes in his volume Skirmish, The Fight Above the Law to Carry Weapon in America. Same management of the NRA didn't know the significance of the change and solved how the organization should return himself to hunt and entertainment survey. The outcome was how for the National Rifle Association's yearly meet in Ohio, more than prudent beginnings of the team staged a surprise party coup in which be named as the Uprising in Cincinnati. They were led by Harlan Wagoner, the chief of the National Rifle Association's advocacy arm who had one day been concluded for Survey Corps, a Mexico adolescent. Following a pregnant meet how lasted before 4 o'clock, the National Rifle Association's management was elect out and the team's new line as a brutal enemy to gun monitoring was KIT. June 26, 2008. One of the largest considerable latter developments in latter U.S. gun law came thanks to a safety guardsman in Washington, D.C. The area had several of the severe gun monitoring laws in the U.S., prohibition individuals of compliance a gun in the household. But Dick Heller requested to be capable to get his job gun household to the top crime region in that he lived. His instance, supported not by the NRA but by a team of libertarian lawyers, went all the way up to the U.S. high trial. The discussion concentrated close on which such 27 speech in the other correction intended in a 2-1 SAINT age background. Is it okay for an person to own a gun if same's not formally in a police? 5 of the justices mind the D.C. law should be affected downward, and 4 persons dissented. An entire new explanation of the other correction was painted. The is a large time in us story, NRA head Wayne LaPierre told following the governing on June 26, 2008. Ours basis fathers wrote and designed the other correction to be in person law. The high trial has now recognized time gun turnover had already been on the growth in the U.S. for several period. They begun to growth considerably in the wake up of the D.C. versus Heller instance. In the monthly the governing was done, nearly 820,000 FBI backdrop checks were carried out. In the identical monthly a year after, down there were nearly 970,000. He's cost noted, although how the high trial added several caveats. Judiciary Scalia wrote, "Love largest rights, the other correction law is not unrestricted. It is not a law to hold and conduct any gun any in any way any and for everything goal." The trial's view, he told, did not indicate long-time prohibitions, such as same transport of gun in susceptible places such as schools and by the government buildings were now raised. February 14, 2018 just period will speak if the survey at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas Top High School in Park, Florida, is a real late spot in the discussion on guns in the U.S. But it has helping galvanize a new gun monitoring motion managed by youthful human beings, one how is not definitely inviting for an end to guns, but for trade-off and changing. On one brush, students who kept the assault how annihilated 17 human beings include claimed an end to gun abuse in schools, and will march on Washington on March 24. Their pleas include emboldened CEO Trump card to offer several new measures, consisting new age framework and a ban on crash stocks, modifications how allow semi-automatic rifles to fire more than rounds per minimum. But on the some brush, the NRA has told it does not behind a ban of any type, future entrenching its stance. The team says errors by regional law coercion agencies and an absence of activity by political community were to accuse for the survey. Some massive shootings include led to changing in several states. Following the murder of 26 human beings in Sand Crochet Basic High School in Newtown, Connecticut, in December 2012, several state forced superior backdrop checks, same law center to hinder gun abuse, yet, told more than state loose gun restrictions in the year following the assault. While 58 human beings were shooting corpse in Las Vegas in October recent year, the lowest massive survey in contemporary U.S. story, Massachusetts prohibited crash stocks. So which may occur currently.